Welcome back to Rev It Up Bowling. My name is Jason Robarsh, and today we got another ball review for you. What we're going to be doing today is reviewing the new DV8 Troublemaker Pearl. It is the new DV8 ball, strictly made, technically, for two-handers. What it has is a concave block where you can put your fingers at normal depth, not touch the block. What that does is it does not disrupt the RG and the differential when you do drill it from a changing the core perspective. It does obviously change it when you do drill the ball, depending on where you're pin to pap, dual angles, 2LS, whatever the case may be. With this one, it is technically for a two-hander, but obviously someone like myself that uses a thumb can use this bowling ball. It sports a HK22 Insider Extreme cover stock. So far, I did throw it in league on Wednesday, shot 775. It was very clean, and it wasn't as poppy as I expected off the back end, but mostly that was due to the 4x45 I put on this ball. It definitely raised the differential. It does flare quite a bit now. If I had to guess, somewhere in the .050 kind of market, somewhere around there. So it is pretty blendy for a Pearl. Why I drilled it like this was honestly more or less for house shots, or like Eagle River and some of the other houses around this area have older lanes, so the heads burn up pretty quickly. So a bowling ball is like this that will still flare but be clean, kind of what I was going for. We'll see if that theory makes sense when we get out there at some of the other tournaments the rest of the season, but that's what we're gonna do today. We're gonna give this a couple shots. We're bowling on the Carmen Salvino 44-foot pattern. We did this on the Black Widow 3.0. We're gonna do it again today. It has a decent amount of recovery, so it should be a little bit harder, but to give us a pretty accurate representation of this ball in different parts of the lane. Bowling on house shot all the time, you kind of get the same relative motion with every ball. So we want to make it a little bit harder to hopefully I can miss more. You guys can kind of see that. So this core, again, like I said, was developed for two-handed bowlers. I have drilled these, the original Troublemaker and a couple of these so far, 4 other two-handers. It is kind of nice as a driller knowing that your numbers will not fluctuate because of finger depth. Obviously too, if you just shallow the fingers in most any other bowling ball, you're probably not going to touch the core, but obviously you need enough room for your fingers to go in. So you can kind of get away with the same thing on any other ball, you just might have to shallow the fingers some. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna get lined up. I have not thrown this ball in this shot yet, so this is gonna be a guess for sure. What we're gonna do is just try to play somewhere around third arrow. If I had to guess, it's either going to skate or duck hook left. I'm more than likely will have to get a little bit more left with this ball, but without further ado, let's get into it. All right, so I said somewhere around third arrow, so let's try like third arrow to just right of the 10 board tracer down lane. This looks about right. Oh, see a ball. Okay, yep, pitch that one right. I haven't thrown it on this yet. I honestly don't know the recovery on it, so I would assume I probably have to stay close to the pocket. This does have an HK22 additive to it, so it is pretty clean naturally. They introduced that additive about a year ago on a number of bowling balls. So far, my absolute favorite with that cover stock is honestly the Brunswick Ethos. It's rolled really, really well for me. So we'll see how this one does. All right, let's not try to pitch it out the window. Act like you know what you're doing. See, that's what I expected. That ball is pretty clean. It's gonna store some energy. Even with the increase in differential, it's still a Pearl. It's gonna store some energy. So let's go ahead, move a little left. If I had to guess, in order for me to really use this ball right now, I'm really gonna have to get at the back of it, just get into a roll as early as possible, get it to start blending before the end of the pattern. Move a little left. What I'm gonna do is really try to get this one rolling a little bit more. Yeah, that looked nice. So far what I've seen with that ball, it's a Pearl. It's gonna give you some recovery. It's gonna be quick. As long as you have the proper friction, you shouldn't skate too far down lane. Again, remember guys with Pearls, they're gonna wanna hook when they see friction. So on really, really burnt up conditions, there's gonna be a lot of friction, right? So most people think to get through all that friction, you need a Pearl. But really, it's just putting like a drag slick on a dry pavement. It's gonna check. So keep that in mind when you guys do throw Pearls. It's not necessarily to get through the heads. In a way, don't get me wrong, it is. But also when there's just too much friction, it's gonna wanna bite pretty hard. So it's gonna get a little more angular. All right, we're gonna do the same thing again. See if I can repeat a shot. That'd be cool. I repeated it. Hey. All right, so far what I've seen with that one, I did throw the 3.0 on this pattern as well. It's definitely cleaner than 3.0, I can tell you that. With it being a symmetric, definitely continues on the back a little bit more. This bowling ball, for most people, you don't have to be a two-hander to throw this ball. Don't get me wrong. Just like any other bowling ball, take the RG differential, whatever, dual angle or 2LS or whatever you want to do, and it's going to react like any other bowling ball. Even though it is meant for two-handers, it just makes drilling it significantly easier and you don't have to worry about touching the core. Obviously, since I use a thumb, yeah, I drilled right through the core. So, man, I really like this motion. I just want to do that again. Go ball, go ball. Ooh. All right, so that one was definitely in and it held. It was great. It shimmed enough. What I've seen with this bowling ball is it does flare a good amount, like 0.045 I think was the differential. With the layout on it, I'm sure it's more than that. So this flare a good amount, so that kind of helps with how sharp it is down lane. The more it flares, more energy you're using, typically the smoother down lane, i.e. big differential. All right, so let's go ahead and get a little deeper. Let's check some recovery on it. I know getting it right, 6 or 7 down lanes OB, so we're gonna try to stay around that 10 board tracer down lane. Yeah, Jesus Christ. All right, so I wouldn't normally throw that kind of shot. It did slow down, but man, it checked pretty hard. Smooth ball motion is good ball motion. For me, this isn't quite smooth enough. But obviously this is fresh too. So usually this kind of bowling ball wouldn't be for fresh. I really drilled this ball for transition. Before the heads totally go, where there's enough friction right where I can get it to balance and blend off of. So let's go ahead and throw another one. All right, Ace made me throw it up together last time, so we're gonna throw it together this time. Hook ball. I wish I was good at that. That's just not something I'm good at. All right, so this next one, we're gonna get deep, check the recovery. Again, we're using Specto, so check out the Specto numbers on your screen. Let's see here. How deep do we wanna get? Go to kind of where the 3.0 was. This one, I'm definitely gonna have to slow down. All right, yeah, that didn't work. Yeah, so that one, it just didn't slow down enough. It got right behind the head pin, through the pins, just not where the one needed to go. All right, do it for the channel, Ace? Pick it up for the channel? No, I'm gonna try to pick up 710. Chance? All right, so we're gonna throw one more from deep. Try not to leave the 710. It's not where I'd normally throw it, but it gives us a good comparison. By the way, this ball is really pretty. Slow down, I'm gonna try to still roll it. I want it to slow down. Nice. So far with that ball, if you're looking for a pearl, pretty sharp, kind of blends that friction out, or kind of helps it kind of come back. Usually with balls like this, what I found was on longer patterns, they work pretty well with some volume. They flare a little bit more with this layout and everything. It's kind of why I drilled it. It's for like that 40 to 45 foot pattern at some point. So far with the Troublemaker Pearl, really enjoy it so far. I drilled the original, I liked it. Never made to my tournament bag, but it did pretty well on house. So we'll see if this one can make the tournament bag. Probably more than likely it will if it's doing that. This bowling ball will be pretty versatile for really anyone. Kind of a middle of the grade bowling ball. It's gonna be somewhere around probably like 200, 220 range. So you're gonna get a good amount of performance for the money with this type of bowling ball. If you're a two-hander, I wish I could illustrate what the things you could do with this ball with, you know, obviously just being a two-hander. However, not a two-hander, and I suck at two-handing. We're not gonna do that today. Maybe at one point we'll add a two-hander to the crew. That way we can do more reviews and stuff with these kind of bowling balls. So with that said, please let me know in the comments if you guys like seeing these ball reviews. I know with the camera, we're still trying to work out a few things. I'm trying to get the best camera angles for you guys using Specto. Maybe in the future we'll do voiceovers, kind of go through to each bowling ball. Also with tournaments, maybe do voiceovers and talk about equipment during those tournaments as well. We can go through that kind of stuff. Bowling is definitely equipment, a little bit more of a pay-to-win sport, kind of like golf. Equipment matters for sure. So please remember to review bowling balls that you're interested in. Go online, read some stuff, go on YouTube, watch some stuff, and it really helps making sure that when you spend money on the ball, you're gonna get the most out of it. So with that said, please remember to like, comment, subscribe. It helps the channel out way more than you might think. My name is Jason Robarge. This is Rev It Up Bowling. Much love. Peace.